Revinyl. We got a lot of fun stuff to talk about. We're almost at the end of the year. It's almost Christmas time. Great time of year. We're going to talk about a few things today. One of which we're going to, especially to round off the year, we're going to talk about Uncut because we haven't done that in a while. We'll go through 10 random numbers for those who haven't heard in the past. Uncut magazine, UK, great music magazine. They did their top 500 albums of the 90s. Craig and I, from the very beginning when we started doing this podcast, we were looking at that list, or I was looking at it, telling Craig about it. He doesn't have the magazine, I do. And this is in our wheelhouse. This is our sweet spot, the 90s. And we figured we'll know every album in this top 500. And what we found is, at least for the UK version, there's a lot of them that we don't know. I don't even know how to pronounce some of them along the way. So we've had some good laughs. We've also agreed with a lot of it. And then some we go, wow, I can't believe that was ranked so high or that was ranked so low. So it's been fun to go through that. We'll go through some random ones. At the very end of this episode, I have 5 records, Craig, because we're so close to Christmas. I'm going to give a Christmas gift to our listeners. I've got 5 albums that are stone cold classics. They're not obscure. They're not avant-garde. They're all records that at one point in time in the 90s were fairly mainstream, but they've faded. Even if a couple of the songs have stayed around or hung around, the albums have faded and no one talks about them anymore. So I'm going to bring them up because I think it's something that people that are listening to this podcast down the road after they hear it, they could go back and listen to these records, and they will, Apple, Spotify, whatever you use, these 5 records will make you very happy. So wait till the very, very end. That's the reward at the end for the listeners. We'll listen to those. Also, we'll do a little bit of the UK, US top albums, and I haven't thought about what year, but I'll probably do 1985, December of 85, and we'll just see what the top 10, we always get a kick out of that. So we'll go with that. Do you have anything, you have any surprises up your sleeve? Okay.
No, it's been a busy week, so I'm just ready to roll with whatever we got.
Yeah, let's do the Uncut. Let's start with that. We'll jump right in. You're going to pick the random numbers. Again, for those who haven't heard this before, Craig keeps a list of everything. I now have my readers on because some of this is very small print in this magazine. This is the magazine. Craig calls out a number that he hasn't called out before. He has no idea. I have no idea what it's going to be. And then we'll either talk about it a little bit, or we will say, what word do we say?
Next.
Next. We will probably, out of these 10, I'm going to predict now 3 of these will be a next out of this 10. So fire away, Craig. I'm ready when you are.
All right. There's a lot more that we've selected than we haven't, so we're getting down to the nitty-gritty here. But they're random numbers. So let's start with 239. That's the highest number I have left.
All right. 239 of the 500 greatest albums of the 90s, according to Uncut magazine. Okay. I'm probably going to butcher the name a little bit. I think I know how to pronounce this. 239 is Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And the album is called Musti Musti. I'm guessing M-U-S-T-I, M-U-S-T-I.
Okay.
I'm going to go big next on that.
Yeah, I know the name. I know his name, but I don't know anything about him, honestly.
Yeah.
So
I know he's he's legendary in the world music scene, but I really don't know anything about him. So I need to dig into that. Yeah. Okay.
What does the little bio say?
Oh, the little bio says the master of, I was afraid you were going to ask because there's words here I can't even, the master of Qawwali, which is some type of devotional singing, meets ambient drifter Michael Brock for a pioneering moment of world fusion.
Okay.
Brock's ambient synths gently frame Khan's flights of hypnotic elemental ecstasy. There you go.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. All right.
Give it a shot. All right. What about 224?
224. Oh, well, we know this one very well. Probably one of my favorite videos of all time is the title track to this record. So it's Red Hot Chili Peppers, Californication. Yeah. I love that video. That video was so cool. when it
Yep.
came out. It was so revolutionary. I love Red Hot Chili Peppers. What's funny though, Craig, I never sit down and listen to them, but when
Yep.
it's on, I'm playing it. They're on my bucket list of bands to see live at some
Yeah.
point before they get any older because they still bring so much energy, but I just
Yeah.
never sit down and listen to a Red Hot Chili Peppers record.
There were those 2 albums, that album, Californication, and then the follow-up, By the Way, are 2 albums that I discovered after the fact because I realized I kinda dig them. In fact, most of the stuff here on the radio, I really dig. Um, I think Blood Sugar Sex Magic is an absolute stone cold classic. That's a great
Yeah.
album. I like Mother's Milk. Those 2 albums are my 2 favorites. But I will say, Frusciante Makes a Difference. I love Dave Navarro. I love what he did with Jane's Addiction, but I didn't love One Hot Minute. It just didn't fit. And I think some of the other guitarists that have come and gone have done a good job, but there's something about Frusciante, and that was his comeback record coming back to the band. And I think they nailed it. I think that's a really, really solid album.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it in my top 500, but I do think it's a great record.
Yeah, I mean, it might make my top 500 of the '90s. I mean, that's really but it would be for me, it'd probably be 300 or something, but I don't know that make my top 250 for sure,
Yeah.
but okay, I'm ready. What's next?
All right, so 2 down, 8 to go. Let's go with 204.
All right. Always trying to anticipate where Craig's gonna go so I can jump right in. Okay. Well, you're gonna have comments about this. I'm not. 208, PJ Harvey, Dry. I think you like this record, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's really good. I don't like Dry as much. I think the follow-up, if I'm not mistaken, the follow-up is Rid of Me. Love Rid of Me. That's how I discovered her. And then I think that was really, Dry, Rid of Me, much more aggressive, kind of Steve Albini-esque, real. That's her in her punk phase. She still has it in her, but my favorite stuff from her is when she did To Bring Me My Love and Stories from the City, Stories from the Sea, when she got a little bit more Patti Smith like. I like that better. Stories from the City, Stories from the Sea is just a beautiful record. There's a song duet she does with Tom York. It's amazing. Um, but Dry was the album. It's kind of like the difference between Liz Phair's Whip Smart and then the precursor, which was Exile in Guyville. Um, I like both equals. I like both records equally, but it's that first one that put her on the map, and everybody started to, and that's what happened with PJ Harvey. So I think it's got great significance of what she did and her stamp she put on music. But I think the follow up is better. So I wouldn't be
Okay.
surprised if that's also on this list.
Okay. All right.
All right,
What you got?
we have got. What about 161?
161. Again, everybody randomly going here, so we have no idea. Oh, perfect. 161, great record. Catherine Will, Adam and Eve. Awesome.
Great
Love that.
record. Very underrated record. I'm so happy that they put this on here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not anything really like Ferment or Chrome. It's
Yeah.
certainly not like the third album, Happy Days. That's kind of like their metal record.
Yeah.
I love that. I love all three of those records, and I really fell in love with them with Chrome, and then Ferment's my favorite. But I would say a very close second record for me. I put those as a tie. Those first two records I give as a tie. I love them both. But I think pound for pound, start to finish, Adam and Eve is their best record.
Yeah. I love it. Such an underappreciated band too. Oh my gosh.
Yep.
It's it
Rob Dickinson, man, his voice, just that whole band, what they did. They were shoegazy, they were dream pop, but they sounded like no other band at the time, and it was awesome.
Yeah, they were brutal too sometimes. I mean, some of they could absolutely tear it up when they wanted to, d like you said, shoegazy in the best possible way, but
Yep.
sometimes I felt like it was bordering on heavy metal in a great way. Just
Yeah.
the guitars, the drums, I love them. I His voice is so good too.
Yep. I saw him, that little sidebar, I saw him open up for the church, and he did an acoustic set. It was just
Mm.
Rob, and it's glory. His voice, just him and an acoustic guitar was amazing. So this album to me started to show their versatility. He opened up the songwriting. I love that record. So,
All right.
all right, let's move
Yeah,
down the list. That's 4, right? We're on our
that
5th
is 4.
selection. Let's see, where am I gonna go here? I'm gonna move pretty quickly over here to 74.
Oh, yeah, you're messing with me now. I gotta go back 7 or 8 pages. All right, 74. Ah, this is a big next for me. I know some people love her. I just never have gotten into Bjork. This
Yep.
is, homogenic.
I
That's a next.
I really like Bjork. I've come to really did you like the Sugar Cubes at all?
Not much.
No?
I've never loved her voice. It just something about her voice is just I think it's just like a lot of vocalists, it's an acquired taste.
That I mean, for me, it was debut and post, and it was after the fact. Both of those albums, I think they started to garner some attention. She garnered attention really after the fact because people didn't really know what to do with her, what to make of her.
Yeah.
Human Behavior was a huge single off that first album. I haven't heard this record, but I'm open to it because I'm more open to her music now than I was when she was in her pinnacle. So I'll go back and check it out. She is highly, highly regarded,
Oh.
very critically acclaimed. I get it. I can get why somebody wouldn't like her. So
Some some of my favorite artists I've read over the years have listed her as one of their favorites, so I'm always thinking, "Man, what am I missing?" But I haven't invested the time, but what I've
yeah,
heard I didn't love, so I just moved on, but
Eh,
alright,
we like what
let's
we like. We don't what we don't.
that's right.
So I'm totally cool with it. All right, I'm gonna have you scurry in here a little bit. What about 195?
But I do love Huey Lewis and the News. And I'm not ashamed to admit it. Okay, well, here's a band that at times I've liked some of their stuff, and I've never loved this band, and I have a feeling you're gonna say the same thing, but
Yep.
it's Galaxy 500.
No.
Yeah, and the album is This Is Our Music.
Yep.
It's a little too morose for me. It's a little too I guess I kind of always put them in the category of Red House Painters. Just I don't know, I'll put it on and I'll want to love it, and I'll go, "Yeah, it's not bad." I don't hate it. I
Yeah.
just don't love it.
I just don't understand why people don't think the same way of the Dean's follow-up band. I love Luna. I think
Yeah.
Luna's fantastic. I think they're far more interesting. Maybe it's because they're a little bit poppier. I want to love Galaxy 500 because their album covers are so cool and they were so cool, this
Oh,
trio, and they were doing things that. But every time I listen to Today or This Is Our Music or whatever the other big, they have like 3 or 4
yeah,
really
one's
big
called
records.
On Fire or
On
something like
Fire.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I it's such a great album cover, and there's
Oh,
moments, but to me, from start to finish, it just sounds the same.
yeah.
It's not that it's too morose for me, it's just because I do like Red House Painters, and I get why my my wife absolutely hates that band, but, I there's something about Luna, or something about Galaxy 500, I really, really wanna like it because aesthetically, it's right up my alley, but they
Yeah.
just don't do enough for me to excite me.
Right. There's no moment in those songs where you go,
Mm.
"Yes, okay, I gotta." That's the thing about so many of these bands we listen to. There's usually a moment when you first hear a band and you're really trying to get into them or trying to figure them out, and there's something in a song and you go, "I gotta hear that again." It's in your head all day, and you go
Right.
back and play it. Next thing you know, you're listening to the whole album and you love the band or the artist. I've never had that with Galaxy 500. I put it on and it doesn't offend me. I don't have to take it off because I go, "Oh my gosh, I can't listen anymore." One other thing and we'll move on. Their album covers are incredible. In fact,
Beautiful.
their album covers, if I would have been in that mode in the '90s when they were doing their records, I would have bought those records just because of the way the album covers looked. It just there's something
Yep.
that looks so cool. You know that you're getting something you're kind of in on a secret, if that makes sense. It just felt
Yeah.
those album covers are so cool. There's nothing
Awesome.
special about them. It's not like a Yes or a Pink Floyd album cover. It's just there's something super cool and sleek about their
That's what I
album
like
cover.
about it. It's more photographic, it's more yeah, I've
Yeah,
always loved their album covers, and it makes me want to love the album, and I love
yeah.
Dean Wareham, because I love Luna, but, I'd much rather see Luna. So,
Do you know why
anyway,
you like the album covers? They look very much like jazz album covers. That's what it reminds me of. Blue Note type jazz album covers with the
similar and a little
photographs,
bit different
white.
because it's not as much art, it's usually more photography. You do get
Yeah,
photography in some of the Blue Note albums, don't get me wrong,
yeah,
but yeah, it's real just simplistic
yeah,
photos.
yeah, I do like their covers. Okay, I'm ready for the next one.
Alright, what about go with 183.
Oh,
I
okay.
think this is number 6, if I'm not mistaken,
Yeah,
but
I
yeah.
think so. Okay, the band, I don't know this band. The band is called It's Immaterial.
No,
The
never
album
heard of
is
them.
called Song, and I'm going to read this: shattering the standard chart pop format. Its Immaterial's second, meaning album, retained the synth pop atmospheres but discarded all the choruses, making for a series of wry musical stories from working class Britain akin to a synth pop, A Taste of Honey. Huh, okay. That's
Alright.
interesting. I'll give that a shot. I've never heard of them before. See, this is what we're
Yeah,
talking about. We
yep,
think we knew everything from the '90s, and we don't.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yep,
It's
that's a
immaterial.
next for us, but we're open, so
Yep.
sounds interesting. Alright, number 7 here, this is gonna be 113.
All right. 113 as I flip through the book. One more page here. 113. Okay. This band is very interesting, and they have a song. So there's a guy named Michael Head, and I think he has a band called Michael Head and the Strands.
Love
So
them.
his
Yep.
other band is called Shack. You're
Mhm.
nodding your head, so you've heard of them too. They're not very
Yep.
well known. This album was called Water Pistol. I don't know this record. I had one of their other records, had a song on there called Natalie's Party, which is
Yeah.
one of my absolute favorite songs of the '90s.
Yep.
I'm all in on Shack. I just haven't listened to him enough. I have to go back. I need to go listen to this record. I
I
loved
gotta
it.
listen to that one too, because there was one Shack, I think it's called HMS Fable?
Yes, that's the
I think
one. Yep.
yeah. I remember listening to that, had moments, but there is a Michael Head and the Strands album, it might just be self-titled, that I have in my collection that every time it pops up in a shuffle, I'll listen to it and I'm go, "Why don't I listen to this album more?" It is glorious from start to finish. It is just one of my favorite. It's just such a cool, chill, great guitar work. His voice is just awesome, real soothing, real soft. But it's not overly melancholic. It's really cool. Definitely sounds British too.
Very, I was gonna say exactly that. Very British. They they came from Pale Fountains, which I've never really listened to them much. I'm familiar with the Pale Fountains, but
Yep.
never really listened to them much. But that Shack album, HMS Fable, I really like it. And if you get a chance, and anyone listening, go listen to the song Natalie's Party. It's such an upbeat, joyous song. It's so infectious. The chorus is a 10 out of 10. The chorus is so memorable and catchy. I love that song so much. So that's good. So this album, Water Pistol, was their debut. Actually, never listened to it. Shack is one of those bands you'll never see one of their records in the US unless you go they
No.
have a big import section. It's totally UK, British band. No one in the US has ever heard of them, but they are worth checking out, and I am absolutely going to check out Water Pistol.
I will check that out for sure too. The album I have is called The Magical World of the Strands, and it's just
Yeah.
Michael Head and the Strands. Glorious album, and it's from '97 too, so I'm curious if maybe it's on this list, so
It might be. They loved them some Shaq and Michael Head back in the day. Uncut did for sure. All right.
alright, so that was what, number 7? We have 3 left. Let's make them count. Let's go for how about 98?
Oh, this one's so easy, Craig. You picked a good one. Blur. Blur. The
Nice, yeah.
self-titled.
I this album, it is underrated. This is an album that I will say in the CD store days got returned a good bit because I don't think people realized how truly eclectic they are.
Right.
It's not all, song number 2. It's not all woohoo. It's, they'll do songs like Beetle Bum and just
Mm,
beautiful pop, and then they'll come out with that. But then they have all these segues in between tracks that are just totally campy. They'll go from punk to chamber music to, I mean, literally they cover the gambit. Love that record. Love, love, love that record. And as much as that was probably their breakthrough because of song number 2, it's
yeah.
one of their more diverse records up until that point.
Yeah, a lot of they were on a roll, very confident, and they were willing to put some different
Yep.
things out there. Oh, you
Sorry
got some
about that.
music
Start
going there.
started playing a little Michael Head. Sorry.
Hey, yeah, that was their, I guess, internationally, or at least in the US, their breakthrough record because of song number 2, Beetle Bum, such a great song. Yeah, it's a good album. I don't listen to it enough. When I listen to Blur, I tend to go back further to their earlier records like Park Life
Yep.
and not this album, but that doesn't mean I didn't like the album when it came out. I just don't listen to it as much.
Yep.
All right, now we're at number 9.
Number 9. All right. Let's see where we're gonna go here. Let's 96. Let's go for
Okay.
96.
By the way, people listening out there, if you hear us every time that we bring up the number 9 and we say that, if you don't know, that's a reference to Beatles' White Album, Revolution number 9, maybe the worst song ever recorded, although you say Mother by the Police is the worst song ever recorded.
It's up there. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd almost rather
Okay.
listen to Revolution number 9, but yeah.
Yeah.
96, what you got?
It is. I love this guy so much, and I bought this album, and it's really hard to it was really hard to find on vinyl for a long time. He has passed away at a very, fairly young age, but lead singer of Talk Talk, Mark Hollis. This is his solo record, also
Hmm.
called Mark Hollis. And I gotta be honest, I bought it, I had to have it, and then I just put it on the shelf. It's one of many. I mean, look behind me. I need to go listen to this record. Have you ever listened to the Mark Hollis solo record? I
I
think I
really
listened to it
haven't.
one time, and
Yeah.
it seemed to be a continuation of where he left off at the end with Talk Talk, not surprising.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, we'll move on, but I do love Mark Hollis so much. I love Talk Talk. I know you do
I do
too.
too.
I love their progression. I love their early stuff, even the real synth pop stuff. I thought they were brilliant all the
Yep.
way through to the end. So he left us too soon.
Yeah, I gotta check that out for sure because I love those last 2 Talk Talk
Yeah.
records. Love them. So,
Okay.
all
Last.
right, here
Here
we
we
go.
go.
Last one. I'm looking at gaps here. I'm going all in. 19.
Oh, now we're getting to the big ones. Okay. Well, here's a record that if I was really cool, this would be one of my favorite records of all time, but I'm not really cool. And I don't know. I need to sit down and just give this some time. But the band is Slint. The album is Spiderland.
Yeah.
Mm, never
It's
captured
so
me, but I haven't given it enough chance probably.
it's so crazy this popped up because it's got David Pajo. I think that's how you Pajo. I don't know if that's how you
Yeah,
Pajo
that
or
sounds
Payo.
right.
He plays guitar. I just saw this thing on Smashing Pumpkins, and he was in Zwan. You remember when Billy Corgan did
Yeah.
Zwan?
Yeah,
He
I
was
didn't
in
know
that
he was
band,
in. Okay.
and I was like, "Oh, I had no idea he was in Zwan. I might check that out." I loved Spiderland when it came out because I loved just different music back then. The 90's to me was just I was taking in so much post-punk, art rock, college rock, indie, whatever. So I was listening to a lot. Man, I haven't listened to that album probably since the 90's,
Dang.
honestly. So I can't tell you, it obviously didn't leave an indelible effect on me to where I've listened to it my entire life, but I do remember loving that album when I had it on CD, but it's
Yeah.
probably been 20 years at least since I've listened to it.
I need to sit down with it one day. I played it once and I just, "Oh, okay," and moved on, but I didn't give it a real shot, and I say this all the time. Most of my favorite records I didn't love the first time. I
Yep.
had to take a couple of listens, the really good ones, the ones that challenge you a little bit. So maybe it's an
Yep.
album I would love. Everyone critics rave about this record. They have since it came out, and
Yep.
maybe I just need to jump on board. But critics also rave about Captain Beefheart and Chop Mask Replica. We know how we feel about that. Okay, that's our list. Now I'm going to give you the option for
Okay.
part 2 of this podcast.
All right.
So I'm going to tell you the year. I'm doing 1985. I'm going to do December of 85, UK top 10, US top 10, either
Okay.
singles or albums, your pick. I've got both books here.
I'm an album guy, so I got to go albums.
Albums, all right? Cover your ears. Okay. Little sound effect for you there. 1985.
All right.
I'll ramble through this so we can look at this and go, okay, December of 85, that's 40 years ago, which is so crazy. So this
Yeah.
is how we rounded out 1985, top 10 albums of 1985. And I'm going to go UK first, like we usually do. We usually get a kick out of this. All right, number 10. Well, this is pretty easy and we'll move on quickly. Is called The Love Album, various artists. So I'm assuming it's one of those cheesy
Uh,
love albums of, Luther Vandross and a bunch of other people. Okay.
so
That's
you
number
think you like? So you think you're in love, volume
yeah.
1?
So you think you're in love, volume 87, they just kept coming out. Now that's what I call love.
Now
Was it
that's
the
what I
whole
call
series?
love.
That's what I call music. Yeah. Okay. Here we go. Number 9
Number 9.
is Like a Virgin, Madonna. I mean, great record. You couldn't go anywhere in 1985 without hearing Madonna. She was on top of
Absolutely
the
not.
world.
Yep.
Well, this is an easy one too. Boy, the UK. Number 8, the greatest hits of 1985.
Wow.
That was not
Wow.
much of a stretch.
No.
Let's see. Oh, here we go. Number 7, Sade, Promise. Oh my gosh. I love her
Excellent.
so much. I don't know this.
Sade's amazing.
I don't think there's a single song that she did that I don't like, and I think I've listened to every one of her records. I love her.
Yep.
Okay.
I agree.
Number 6, man, the UK they were feeling romantic. Number 6, The Love Songs by George Benson. I mean, Sade, right out of the gate, the 10 through 6, the Love album, the Love songs, Sade, I mean, they were loving love
Yeah,
back then.
right now, Sade is their only saving grace at this point.
Yes, exactly. Okay, number 5, no surprise here, Dire Straits, Brothers in Arms. I mean,
Oh,
massive.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, number 4, Spandau Ballet, the singles collection. I love Spandau Ballet. I really do.
Yeah, I like them all right.
True, Only When You Leave, Gold, man, they were awesome. All right, the final 3, this is really disappointing. The final 3, number 3, Hits 3, various artists. Number 2,
Wow.
Now, the Christmas album, various artists. and we joked earlier, number 1, Now That's What I Call Music 6.
That's
So
hilarious. I
so
knew it
that's
had to be I knew it had to be early on because they didn't start that until the 80s. So,
yeah.
yeah.
I wonder if it was because it's around Christmas time and those were big selling records because
That
people were buying
has to
Christmas
be.
gifts and going, "What am I gonna get Johnny for Christmas?" Well, I'll get him a various artist album.
Yeah,
Put it under
let's
the tree.
see what America comes up with, and if you can do a glance at it, and if it's the same verdict as this, then let's go back and do singles, only
Okay.
because I didn't think about the timing. I think you're exactly right. I think these are Christmas gifts.
The US did better. They did
Okay,
better.
okay,
Okay,
cool. Sweet.
I'll run through these. Number 10, phenomenal album, Tears for Fears, Songs from the Big Cheer. Huh,
Yes.
love it so much. Number 9,
Number
this is
9.
actually this record is understandable that it was a top 10 record. I don't love it, but man, you couldn't go anywhere, restaurant, grocery store, wherever in '85 without hearing Whitney Houston. This was her debut record, Whitney
Oh, the
Houston.
self-titled? Yep,
How Will I Know? I mean, that song
yep,
was everywhere. One of the
yep.
biggest hits of that era for sure. Okay, number 8 is Born in the USA, Bruce Springsteen. Way to go, US.
Mhm.
Love that album. Number 7, A Total Disappointment, Barbara Streisand. The Broadway album, that's one I'll never, ever, ever listen. I will listen to Slint. I'll listen to Bjork 5 times before I listen to Barbara Streisand, the Broadway album.
Yeah,
That's
I tell you, to give it to a little correlation to the holiday season, anytime a Barbara Streisand Christmas song comes on, we cannot dive
yeah,
to the radio quick enough to change the channel.
yeah, I'm with you. All right, number 6, one of our favorite artists of all time, but not his greatest moment, Stevie Wonder in Square Circle. Just
Yeah.
he lost me at that point. It's
Love
unfortunate.
Stevie, but, wasn't his era, in my opinion.
Yep. Okay, we got a match from the UK list, and it's also the exact same ranking. The number 5 album in December of 1985, Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms.
Cool.
Number 4, not my favorite album by this band, but one of the best bands of the '70s and '80s, ZZ Top, Afterburner. It was good.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked
Yeah.
Eliminator better.
Yeah.
I liked their early stuff even better, but yeah, not bad.
Yep. Respectable.
Respectable. Number 3, other than the Born in the USA album, which I've said many times, I love that album so much. This would be my other favorite record from the top 10 US albums of the time. When this album came out, I was such a big fan, and I actually loved every song on it except for the biggest hit on the album, but that's John Cougar Mellencamp, Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Rockin' in the USA was such a huge hit. I didn't
Yep.
love that song. It was okay when it came out, but the rest of that album was so amazing. Rain
Oh
on the
my god.
Scarecrow is
R Rain on the Scarecrow is amazing.
gosh, what a great
That's
song.
a blistering album. That's one of those things where you and I and Kevin were going back and forth with albums that we feel like are just kinda trapped in time that people just don't like. Critics recognized it at the time, but went back to back to back on 3 albums, like a Steve Winwood record, something else. I think it was probably, I can't remember who it was, but I got to that record and I go, "This is probably my favorite of the 3." So,
I
love it.
love Scarecrow so much. Yeah, he was on a roll artistically. He was on a rampage politically because he
Yep.
was really upset with how farmers were being treated, and he talks about it, sings about it a lot on that album, and it raised a
Mhm.
lot of awareness at the time, did a lot of good, I believe, for farmers at that point in time. That album is just incredible. Okay, number 2 album is Heart, self-titled Heart. I mean,
No.
great band early on, and then, wow, did they get kitschy.
Yeah,
What
they
About
just I mean,
Love?
I think fell prey to the times. I just never thought they'd go the Jefferson the
Oh,
Jefferson Starship route, you know?
yeah, no, that's a great way to put it. They were one step removed from that. The only song on that album, I always loved that song, If Looks Could Kill. I thought
Yeah,
that was a great rock and roll song, but
yeah.
man, Alone and What About Love and In Dreams, I can't believe I remember all these off the top of my head. I mean, but everywhere we walked in 1985, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing Heart.
All the
Eh
bands did that, though. I mean, think about how incredible Chicago was, and then they fell
yeah,
prey to the same thing under the Peter Cetera. It's the
mm,
timing, that's just what people were into,
yeah,
so it's a
yeah,
shame.
alright, number 1, Miami Vice soundtrack.
I
I
love it.
loved that TV show.
We just talked about this on, Schizophrenic Music recently because we were doing Either Or.
Mm.
Um, and we were doing Rate It, and I said, "Rate Miami Vice." And he looked at me and he goes, "Oh my, I haven't thought about Miami Vice in forever." And I go, "Think about how gritty that show was at the time. That was must see TV. Everybody in the family sat down and watched that because it was just so, I mean, it's gritty. It was on public TV. It came on prime time, but I mean, it showed drug culture in Miami, and it was just cool.
prostitution. I mean,
Absolutely.
everything, and Sonny Crockett was the coolest dude alive. Don
Yes.
Johnson was just he was my hero back then. I loved Don Johnson. I
Crockett and
loved the
Tubbs,
whole
man.
look. Yeah. Yeah, that was great TV, and I loved the soundtrack. They'd always play
Yep,
great songs during the show. They had Glenn Frey guest on there, Phil Collins. I mean, it was just a super hip show. There will never be anything quite like that again. And it
yep,
really was it was a TV show, and for people of a certain age, we know this, but for the younger generation, when Miami Vice came out, that think about this, Craig. That was a television show that dictated the way people dressed.
absolutely.
People at my high school, they all were starting to wear the pastel colors and all that.
Flipped
Yeah,
up the
the
collar.
pop the collar, everything. Everyone wanted to look like Don Johnson and, Philip Michael Harris. Everybody was just so enamored by that look, that Miami Vice look. Can you imagine that now? I mean, what TV show would be on mainstream TV where people go, "Ooh, I wanna dress like that when I go to school on Monday?"
Well, it
Yeah,
had such an impact. We did an '80s party, and this was back in, uh, I don't know, probably late '90s, early 2000s, and, we were the s soundtrack for Miami Vice was playing, you were hearing Toto Africa in the background and all this other stuff.
yeah,
I bet you 75% of the people that dressed up that day dressed up as Miami Vice. Everybody was wearing the popped collar and the bleached white suit
yep.
with a colored T-shirt up under. I mean, that's
Yep, rolled up
they s
sleeves on the suit jacket. I mean, it was a
yeah,
look, dude. It was yeah, I fell prey to it, I'm not gonna lie. Alright, that wraps it up.
cool,
We'll end the show here with my tease at the beginning of the episode. So,
cool.
I was thinking about this, Craig, because I actually was walking around the house the other day, and this song popped into my head, and I don't know why. But I went back and I started listening to the album again, and I thought, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe" you have those moments where you'll just your brain is incredible, and you'll have a song pop in your head that you haven't listened to in 20 years.
Right.
And that happened to me the other day, and the artist is Jude Cole. The record was A View from 3rd Street, 1990. When that album came out, Craig, that was a big album. Baby It's Tonight, Time for Letting Go, Hollowed Ground. There were, I think, 3 songs on that album that were top 40 hits, 2 of which were pretty big, pretty significant hits. When's the last time you heard so that's what got me thinking about these albums that we've all kind of forgotten about that were not obscure, not avant-garde. They were mainstream records on major labels. Everybody was listening to them, and then, House Full of Reasons, that was the other song I'm trying to think of. It's a great record. Did you ever listen to Jude Cole back in the day?
He's one of those guys that was definitely in my view. He's a cool looking dude.
Yeah.
What was it? Jude Cole and the Commotions? Is that
No,
who it
that's
was?
Lloyd Cole.
Lloyd Cole. Maybe I'm thinking
Yeah.
about I do know of Jude Cole.
Yeah,
Now
he
I'm
also was very cool
confusing.
looking. He was kind of he was Richard Marx for the rocker crowd. He
Yes,
was kind
so
of
it
a
is Jude Cole.
yeah,
Visually, it
pretty
is Jude
boy.
Cole who I'm thinking of.
Yeah,
Yep.
played guitar, his dude, he looked cool with the guitar strap, guitar around his neck, he had a look, he had a great voice, and, I mean, Baby It's Tonight was a really big hit, Time for Letting Go was a hit. Such a great album. You should go back. The one song that I would recommend to anyone, song called House Full of Reasons. It's just a great 3.5 minute pop song with an incredible chorus. You will probably like the song Heart of Blues. It has I love it. It's got a little bit of soul, a little bit of blues, great rock and roll. For totally forgotten album. So that was the first one on my list. I heard Jude Cole in my head the other night, and I thought, "Man, how many other records did I used to listen to a lot that I haven't thought about in a long time?" So I made the list. I'm only gonna do 5 tonight. The next one is the band New Radicals. I know you liked them back in the day. They disappeared. I mean, the
Yeah, I
album,
don't
Maybe You've Been Brainwashed Too, Do you even when's the last time you even listened to them? I mean, it's been
I mean,
and I used to listen to this all the time.
it comes on Lithium a lot on, XM radio. The single does, so,
You get
um,
what you give,
You Get What You Give is the I was just looking up to see what
and
else.
everyone knows that song, but then the
Yep,
rest of the album, like that song "Someday We'll Know," that's a really pretty melody. Hit my mic there. I love this album. I used to listen to this nonstop when it came out. I thought the whole album was good. It's their only record, which is
it's
crazy.
crazy.
And the
Yeah,
guy's name, I think, was Greg Alexander, and he
yep,
had a solo album prior to this that tanked, and then he does this, and he's got the whole Britpop look with the hat, and he's
bucket
dressed
hat.
yeah, he looks yeah, the bucket hat, and he looks kinda like he's could have been an Oasis or Blur back in the day. It's such a good album, so I just recommend that for anyone. That's what I wanted to do with this list
Well,
today, or
listen to these peak charts in the US, 41, in Australia, 51, um, AUT, I'm not really sure where that is, 13,
maybe
uh,
Austria?
maybe Austria, yeah, Canada, 17, Germany, 25, Netherlands, 53, New Zealand, 34, Sweden, 30, Switzerland 41, and then the UK got to 10. There's
Yeah.
not a single country listed here that gets above 51. That's incredible, and they just literally stopped. Like, I'd almost like to know what happened to make them stop
Yeah. And
recording.
I'm telling you, it's such a good album that people go back and listen to it. It's so good. It it's just shocking to me that they faded into obscurity, and none like you said, people know that song, and if you were in a club playing 90's music, everybody would be like, "Oh my gosh, I love this song. It's so great." And then no one would know who it is. They would just know,
Right.
"I love this song," and then the
Yep.
next song would come on. Okay. I have 3 more here. This band near and dear to my heart because when I first heard them, to me, they sounded like a great combination of the band and Bob Dylan and maybe a little bit of a Bakersfield sound, but they were from Canada, and you know the band Blue Rodeo. It was their 3rd
Yes.
album called Casino.
Excellent
What
album.
a great album. I I'm guilty of it. I listened to it this week once I started putting this list together, and I went back and thought, why don't I listen to this album at least a couple times a year and dust it off? Such a great album for anyone that likes Heartland, Americana, country rock. Blue Rodeo's album Casino is phenomenal.
Excellent. I concur.
All right, next up, this band has a huge hit, and again, it's one of those every bar and every college town in America plays this song at the end of every night. Closing Time,
Closing time.
right?
Yep.
Semisonic. The album's called Feeling Strangely Fine. Let me tell you something. If you don't I don't think you love this album like I do, right? Do I remember that correctly?
I've only listened to it maybe, once or twice. It didn't grab me, but I'm open to revisiting it. There's several things that back then I didn't really love or
Yeah,
maybe even didn't listen to,
yeah.
and, listen to it again and I go, "Oh, this is great," you know?
I for some reason, I always equate this with Fastball because
Oh,
about the
yeah.
same time I was listening to Fastball. Both to me
Mhm.
were sort of power pop bands. I love this album. The Semisonic album is so good. You know what they do a lot? They do something that we love about Keen, very piano dominated in a lot of
Yep.
their songs. There's a lot of piano in Semisonic songs, but there's good production. I'm a huge fan. I didn't listen to really anything other than this album, but this
Right.
album is probably a 9 out of 10 for me. I mean, it's near perfect. I think it's one of the best albums of
So
the
they're from Florida, right?
they're from all over. Actually, the drummer was a Harvard student, a Harvard graduate. He wrote a book about the music business. Forget his name. I
It's
wanna say that they're from all over. Maybe one guy was from Florida and one guy was from Boston.
I mean, I guess that makes sense. The only reason I say that is, a customer of mine who he and I became his name is Derek Snowden. Um, I think he went to University of Florida, and if I'm not mistaken, his roommate's brother was the drummer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he even snickered about it. He even joked, my roommate's brother was in a band. You know him. Not very cool, but Semisonic." And I go, "Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I mean,
Oh,
I don't have anything against him." So, but I think that song has been so played to
yeah,
death, even though I don't
absolutely.
think it's a bad song. I think it's a good song. I think that song's been so played to death that I think most people aren't open to listening to the actual album because it sold really well when it was released.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, they actually did an album a couple years ago. I just looked it up here, but the Singing in My Sleep is a 10 out of 10 song, Made to Last, Never You Mind. Oh my gosh. This album is so good. I'm gonna move on, but I'm telling you, anyone out there, if you just want an album, put it on while you're driving down the road, Semisonic, you can't go wrong with this record. The last one I'm going to mention, very near and dear to my heart. I played this record more than any other record of all time.
Yep.
You know what it is. Dream So Real, Rough Night in Jericho. They had a sort of regional radio hit with the title track, probably one of my least favorite songs on the record, which is the title track, Rough Night in Jericho, from Athens. They were signed to Arista Records, and it looked like they were gonna be a band that was going to make the everyone when REM got big, all the record companies, all the A&R guys flooded Athens looking for the next REM. And Dream So
Yep.
Real was probably the closest thing, except Dream So Real, they were a trio, and they were a little more straight ahead rock and roll, less quirky than REM, more guitar driven than REM. And they just wrote great songs, very a lot of, anthem choruses. It's a very close to perfect album for me. I highly recommend it for anyone. If you love Gin Blossoms, if you love later Toad the Wet Sprocket, or even Hootie and the Blowfish, they all owe a debt of gratitude to Dream So Real. Dream So Real never got big nationally,
Yep.
but when I heard Gin Blossoms a few years after Dream So Real came and went, and when I heard the first Gin Blossom record, I loved it, but my heart sank because I
Yeah.
thought, "Oh my gosh, these guys sound so much like Dream So Real. They're selling millions of records, and Dream So Real did it 3 or 4 years earlier," and it's just
Right.
unfortunate, but Dream So Real, Rough Night in Jericho, check it out. It's such a great record. California is probably one of the catchiest songs you'll ever hear.
Yeah, that's been on your list forever. I was looking to
Yeah,
see I was actually scanning to see if we had like a list that might already be on. But yeah, this is something he's been singing the praises of this album in particular and just the band Dream So Real for as long as I've known him. So,
yeah,
and I love that stuff. I love finding albums like that. There's something I hate to see a career not flourish, but at the same time, there's something that makes it a little bit more precious
yeah.
to you when you're kind of the only one that there's several albums that I have in my collection, like the Revolver, Cold Water Flat album. I cherish that album. Nobody knows who the heck that is. I mean,
Yeah.
very, very few people. Uh, so yeah, I love those types of records, even though it's a shame that those bands didn't just explode.
It's just crazy because they were signed to a major label. The previous album before they were signed to a major label was produced by Peter Buck. They should have been the next band up. They
Right.
were the band of the moment. Arista Records, I think, ruined them probably because they didn't know how to promote them. Clive Davis was more of a soul R&B type guy, but I think they all grabbed, and Dream So Real chose the wrong label. They probably had 5 offers, and maybe they just said, "Oh, let's go with Arista." It was a
Right.
big mistake. They did 2 records, and again, there are people in Athens or in Georgia and in the South, Dream So Real, they were massive at one point. They were the
Right.
biggest band. People loved them, to a degree, loved them more than REM because REM had moved on to global fame, and Dream So Real was our band. And there were probably people in other parts of the country, they know that song Rough Night in Jericho. They probably have
Right.
no idea the name of the band or anything, but yeah, it's a great record. So that's my 5. Every now and then I'll do that. I've been creating a list of those types of, again, major label artists who had a moment and then faded away and no one talks about them. So I'll do some more of those in the future.
Awesome, good stuff. I'll try to
Yeah.
join you.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Well, we'll wrap up. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, good stuff, man.
I love when we do the uncut. So many surprises.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I think when we get through this uncut, I don't know, I don't wanna go beyond 250 because once again, we narrowed it down from 500 to 250, but I would love to find another resource like that in that era, maybe even
Yeah.
80s and 90s in particular, and go through another list because this one's fascinating.
Oh, I've I've got the '80s list too. I've got that magazine
Nice.
also. Shocker.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Shocker.
Well, Craig, thanks, man. Thanks everyone for
Yeah, man.
listening. If we don't hear from you or you don't hear from us before, have a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We will have an episode
Absolutely.
coming out next week, but just in case,
Yep.
this is the last episode you listened to for the year. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. This is our last one before Christmas. The next one that airs, if it does air, will be the day after.
That's
So,
right.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Thank you so much for your support, and on to the next one.
Yes.